Hey everyone, I'm really excited today to talk to you about a new process that Peak Marketing has been working on and building out. We're coining it the Peak Signal Method. And really, what this is, it's a way that we've developed to be able to influence how AI search engines are pulling results in particular locations. So if somebody's searching for, the best law firms in Annapolis, Maryland, we have come up with a way to be able to manipulate those search results to include specific businesses. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this entire process and talk you through each individual layer of this so you can understand the inner workings of this a little bit better because it is a little bit of an involved process. It's not quite as simple as the old days when you just go and buy some backlinks to your website and you magically start to rank. There's a lot of work that needs to go into this type of a process to influence what these AI search engines are starting to pull now. So let's just jump right into it and start from the very top of this thing. We've coined it Peak Falcon. Okay, so essentially what this is we've developed our own scraper. We have a software developer here on staff that has helped us create this tool to help us to be able to go into a specific market, find every single business that has a website, so that we can curate a list of business owners that we can then reach out to later. The way this works, and it kind of depends on the size of the market, but if we're in a market, say like Chicago, we're only going to want to pull maybe a 5 to 10 mile radius around a particular law firm just because of the size of the city and the number of businesses that exist. But if we're in a place like where we're located in Burley, Idaho, we're probably going to want to pull almost the entire state to be able to pull a big enough list for us to be able to do this outreach from. But the way this list works, it goes on the Google Maps, scrapes the results there, and it finds business names, business emails, and business phone numbers for us to be able to start doing this outreach to. Once we have that information, we then need to create a special piece of content called a listicle. Okay, so a listicle is just a list of 5 to 10 businesses in a particular industry, and you're saying why they are ones you should choose for whatever particular service you're trying to find, right? So for a law firm, if you're in Chicago, you're going to make listicles that say top law firms in Chicago area or in, wherever. And you're always going to have your business listed first. Okay? And you're going to have a backlink to your business within the brand name. So if your brand name is Law Offices of Anthony Carbone, you're going to have a link with the words Law Offices of Anthony Carbone pointed back to your website. You're then going to list your name, so Anthony Carbone, and then you're going to have the credentials of that particular individual listed as well. These are critical elements because to influence EEAT inside of Google's algorithm, they want to see these credentials. And if they start getting plastered across the internet, Google's going to start to trust those credentials more and put your content up more highly in their rankings as well as in the other AI results. So that's what we call peak index, right? We get that listicle created, and then we have this content, and we need to create several different variations of that content, right? So we don't want to have the same 4 or 9 firms listed below us each time. We're obviously going to be number one every single time with a backlink to our website. Everybody else is going to rotate in and out of this list so that they don't get too many brand mentions by being in a list, the same list with us every single time. And they also aren't going to have backlinks to their websites. Peak cadence is the next step of this process. So this is really the email outreach portion of this process. So we've actually been doing this for like 5 years for ourselves, where we've been able to build out an email infrastructure to be able to handle tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of emails every single month that we're able to send out. And historically, that's been very difficult to do, right? To be able to build up an infrastructure large enough to be able to send out that amount of emails every day to be able to make this type of an outreach system work. Well, fortunately, we've been able to fix this up and make it work over the past 5 years to where now we've perfected that system so that we can reach out to thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of businesses at a single time. So that's the peak cadence portion of this thing is the email outreach that we have really built, which involves several different domains, several different email addresses and then having a special cadence or the frequency that we're sending these emails out so that we don't ever get tripped up by any spam filters or anything of that nature. And that's the first step in this outreach, right? You take that listicle that you have, you put it into your email and you say, hey, would love if you could post this up on your business website. And then we send out that email to the list of businesses that we were able to find. The last piece in this process is what we call peak call. So it's exactly what it sounds like, peak call. So we sit down on the phone and we call all of these businesses individually, asking them to post this content onto their website with that link that points back to us as a brand reference, so that we can build that authority. Now, what we have found over the years is simply sending out tons of emails, making phone calls isn't enough to get people to really link back to you. So the secret sauce to this whole thing that really makes it go is giving a specific gift, which in this case is AirPods. So we give Apple AirPods in exchange for somebody listing this content out on their website. And that has increased our reply rates and success rates with this tremendously over the years as we've continued to use that hook of the AirPods. Now, the reason this works, right, and the reason it impacts AI results is brand equity is becoming a bigger thing with search today, right? Google wants to see your brand talked about everywhere. And the more times we can get those mentions out into the ether, the more that Google's going to find them to help us to start to rank. Search engines take this to a new level when you use listicle content like this, where you list out a number of firms that are the best. When you have your firm constantly being mentioned as the best one and it's being posted within the local community all over the place, AI search engines are going to pull that content all the time and see that you're listed number one, and they will put you in the number one spot for the recommendation of an attorney that someone can hire if they get into a car accident or if they're going through a divorce or whatever the case is that they need an attorney for. So that's really the trick to this whole thing is the more that that content gets out there, the more AI search engines and Google start to trust it. We've also seen that this is going to impact your local rankings. So in the map packs, which are becoming more and more important over as the AI continues to get into more the ways that people are searching on Google and other search engines because they're almost stopping when they're doing a local search at the maps more often than scrolling down past it into the organic results. It used to be that organic results were super valuable, not anymore. There's still a place for them and there's still a reason to try to go after those. But if you want to drive more business to your law firm quickly, it's going to be by ranking well inside of the maps and being suggested by AI as frequently as possible. And this strategy that we just discussed is going to help you get that done as quickly as possible for your law firm.